All right, team, this briefing is designed to give you the analytical framework for what is, without a doubt, the most critical phase of buy-side M&A, generating a qualified list of acquisition targets. Our goal here is to instill a disciplined, data-driven process that takes broad strategy and turns it into a concrete, actionable set of opportunities.
We're going to run this through a 5-phase analytical framework. Now, this structure is specifically designed to systematically and logically narrow the entire universe of potential targets. Each step builds on the last, reinforcing the strategic mandate until we have a specific, defensible shortlist that's ready for a board-level review. So, let's start with Phase 1. The objective here is pretty straightforward. We need to translate a broad corporate strategy into a set of non-negotiable screening parameters. This is where we impose discipline on the entire process, right from the beginning. It stops strategic drift before it can start and makes sure we focus our resources where they'll actually matter.
Look, the whole process lives or dies by the investment thesis, and this is not some vague mission statement. It is the core strategic document that every single criterion flows from. A poorly defined thesis is probably the #1 reason deals fail post-close, so it has to be a clear, concise articulation of exactly why we're acquiring something, ensuring we're in lockstep with the board's objective.
And this is exactly how that thesis becomes tactical. We're talking about hard screening parameters, quantitative metrics we use to systematically filter the market. Every single one, from revenue thresholds to tech stacks, has to tie directly back to a strategic rationale. We are not just looking for good companies. We are looking for companies that fit our very specific predefined model.
All right, moving to Phase 2. Here, we broaden our analysis. A simple list of direct competitors? That's table stakes. It's completely insufficient for real market intelligence. We have to map the entire business ecosystem to really get a handle on the network of dependencies and influences that define a target's place in the market.
Our focus here is all about analyzing how a potential target actually operates within its environment. Who are their key dependencies? Who depends on them? Getting these relationships is fundamental to identifying not just latent opportunities, but, and this is critical, the hidden risks that you will never ever find on a balance sheet.
So, these are the critical pieces of that ecosystem map. For example, analyzing key suppliers isn't just about checking a box. It's about revealing potential supply chain vulnerabilities that could absolutely destroy post-acquisition performance. In the same way, mapping customer segments uncovers concentration risk that could threaten revenue stability. This analysis gives you a 3-dimensional view of a target's real operational resilience.
Now we get to Phase 3, which is a massive strategic decision point. Here we have to evaluate whether our investment thesis requires the stability of an established market leader or the high-growth potential of an industry disruptor. The choice between these two profiles dictates completely different valuation models and, of course, different integration plans.
This comparison is absolutely key. On one hand, you've got the market leader profile. Think Amazon buying Whole Foods. The objective there was crystal clear: acquire a massive, immediate footprint in the grocery sector. That was all about buying market share and proven operational models. Then, on the other hand, you have the disruptor. When Microsoft bought LinkedIn, it wasn't buying profits. It was acquiring a unique data asset, that professional network, to integrate deep into its enterprise software ecosystem. That was a future-proofing acquisition, totally centered on innovation.
This brings us to Phase 4. Okay, so all the prior analysis has given us a preliminary list of targets. Now we use tactical market intelligence to validate our hypotheses against hard data before committing a single resource to outreach. This is an absolutely crucial de-risking step.
These are our primary tools for validation. We're synthesizing financial data from sources like Capital IQ and PitchBook and combining it with the qualitative insights we get from our expert networks. This lets us conduct really rigorous peer group benchmarking. The whole goal is to use every available data point to build an objective third-party case for or against a target's strategic fit. I want you to really understand the philosophy of this phase. As it says on the screen, the goal of tactical research is not discovery, but validation. We are not looking for new ideas at this stage. We are pressure testing our existing thesis. This discipline is what stops us from wasting executive time and, frankly, capital on strategically misaligned pursuits.
The successful execution of these 4 phases brings us to the key deliverable for this entire stage of the M&A process, the final shortlist.
And let me be perfectly clear. We do not end this process with some long, rambling list of possibilities. The final output is a concise, highly defensible shortlist of 3 to 5 targets. Every single name on this list is supported by a rigorous, multi-phased analysis and is 100% aligned with the investment thesis. This is the document that goes to the board for approval to initiate contact. Which leaves us with a final thought to carry forward. Once this shortlist gets the green light, all of this analytical work pivots to a new challenge. So, what then becomes the single most critical factor in crafting a successful first approach to one of these validated targets? That is the next strategic problem we need to solve.